Hello everyone, it's Mandi V with CHI-Fuzion magazine, and I am here with the one and the only Miss Faith Evans.
Hi.
Miss Faith Evans from As Soon As I Get Home, Party All Night Long. I mean, the list goes on and on. And with that said, Faith, there's a couple of good things you have going on lately. The first one I wanted to talk to you about is the collaboration you did with Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
His first gospel album actually was just went #1, his first #1. Now, when he approached you with that, how did he approach you with that idea?
When Snoop and I were finishing up working on the song he did on my King and I project, we talked about him doing a gospel project, and we really discussed us possibly doing it together, you know, because I had a lot of ideas of songs, because I eventually want to do a gospel album one day. And he was like, why don't we do it together? And I was like, okay. And then when he started sending out the mass texts, you know, to producers and writers, I was on the road. So I don't know if I quite was there for us to do the whole album together. But when he called me to do the song, I mean, I already knew he was doing the project because we talked about it before it really came to be. So I did tell him, I said, dog, they going to love it. I'm telling you. Like, if you ever, you know, have you ever met him?
I have
Snoop
not.
is one of the coolest people in the whole wide world, let alone the industry. And you can just tell that his spirit is from a good place, you know? And, you know, he was a little, I wouldn't say, probably a little nervous, I guess it's fair to say, with this being his venture into gospel music. But I was like, listen, trust me, it's going to be accepted. You know what I mean? When I heard the music, it's like, dude, like, you can't really hate on it. It's a good album.
So it wasn't a shock. You two had already collaborated about it. And you
Absolutely.
Knew that it was going to be in the works.
Okay.
Okay. And then the other good thing you have coming up is the summer tour with Eric Benet. So you've also been working on new music with him as well, right?
We are recording a couple of records. I'm actually working on a duet project with a few different male artists that I've recorded with before, like Carl Thomas, Aaron Hall, El DeBarge, and of course Eric Benet. So we plan on releasing a single or two before we go out on the road. So while we're not doing the whole project together, I'll probably release one of our singles together, you know, so that it can kind of be a companion to us going on the road.
Okay. Now, rewinding back just a little bit, you know, recently Craig Mack died, and recently they had his funeral, and DJ Scratch said that no one appeared now except him as far as being in the industry. Now, were you shocked that no one from Bad Boy represented?
Well, let me just show you something, and not that I have to do this to prove anything, but actually I was in Atlanta working on a video the day of his service, but I knew about it. I kept in touch with a few people that were still close to Craig, and this is what I sent to the service. I posted it, and you know, with my little note that I sent.
Right.
So while I wasn't physically there, I did send a nice arrangement and a nice note, and his family obviously noticed that I, you know, sent my condolences.
Right, and it's always...
I wasn't there to say who was and who was not there, you know what I mean? But I know that Craig and I have memories. I haven't seen him in years, but we had a lot of great memories, and you know, it definitely hurt to find out that he passed away. So I wanted them to know that, you know, the family was in my thoughts and prayers.
And there's always two sides to a story, so...
Well, I'm not saying it's a story. I wasn't physically there, but I definitely wanted to let the family know that I was there in spirit. And I mean, I don't know, maybe some other people did as well.
Now, you have been through a lot in your 20 plus years in the industry. I mean, I think you probably have a lot more to talk about than a lot of other people in the industry. I mean, from coastal wars to in-house fighting to, you know, being married to arguably the biggest name in hip hop. What in those years stands out to you most as the most memorable experience? And not necessarily those moments that I just described, but being in the industry in general. What do you look back and say, I'm happy that this happened, or I'm happy that I had this experience, or this person talked to me, you know, et cetera, et cetera?
To be quite honest, I'm appreciative of every moment. I mean, you know, I'm appreciative of every day, every lesson, every up and every down, because I mean, kind of what I was saying earlier in the other interview, I mean, I've, you know, I came into the industry not knowing this is going to be my calling, you know. But I never quite came into it thinking that I'm going to take a different stance on who I am. I've always been the same. Most people that know me in the industry, like, I love you. You always been the same. So, you know, me knowing that this is all God ordained, you know, I don't think anything could stand out as the biggest lesson or the worst moment, because I take it all and understand that there's a reason for all of it, and there's a lesson in all of it, and that how I handle things is an example for other people.
All right. Well, with that said, I want to thank you again. You put on a hell of a show out there.
Thank you.
I love
I was
the
a little
90s. I love
early.
your music.
They cut a little time, but I was like,
She shut it down. I
had to get Brick City real quick.
Thank you again so much.